Hello, everybody. Today we're going to look at a couple of pens from Cross. And in this case, two variations of the Cross Verve. Um, Cross is a funny brand, in my opinion. They don't sort of, they don't seem to stand out in some ways, but they just rely on their market and they do very well. But in some ways, they seem to have not really jumped into the fountain pen hobby as it is today, and they continue to make well, actually, good pens. Um, and what we have here are two pens from, say, the early 2000s. I've looked up the dates. I've got 2004, 2005, 2010 in that area. And this one here is the Cross Verve Platinum edition. And here is my cat again, who likes to help. And this one is the Radial Chrome. So platinum plated, and this is a chrome version. Each of these pens were loaned to me by my friend Rudolph, who has been very kind to the channel, giving me access to his very nice collection. And he picked up these recently, and he thought I'd like to look at them. Now, the funny thing about these is I look up Cross to start researching it, and I can't find them. So I had to do an image search, took a photo, loaded it up on, Googled for an image search, and that's how I found them. Sometimes it's very hard sometimes to find a lot of information about Cross, but I found it. Just had to go searching. And so let's take a look at them. Now, I'm not too sure which one I prefer. I think I lean towards the platinum, the understated, brushed quality of this pen. It's a very nice pen. The chrome is also very nice. I like the radial lines. And it has actually a really interesting clip right here. I'm not going to get into pulling on them too hard, but how does the clip work? Oh, okay. It's kind of spring-loaded, so that's interesting. I don't know how good that would be on a shirt, but it's an interesting design. Actually, it's quite attractive, actually, how it just sort of looks like the head of a snake. It would be the thing, or some kind of a ship from a science fiction movie or something like that. Very interesting design. It's a classic cigar torpedo shape. A lot of different pens have, it's a classic fountain pen shape. It's a classic pen shape. But the clip, very interesting. I like this little bit of black plastic and then just how that seamlessly joins in. It gives it a sort of an animalistic quality to it. So let's take a look at them. They are pull caps, and I'm not going to post it. This one is interesting in the fact that it has an 18 karat gold nib. And I was just researching the pens, and I came up with the company Namiki. So I came across a couple sources saying that the nibs were made by Namiki in Japan. And that actually kind of rings true to me because I actually have another Cross pen in my own collection that has what is claimed to be a Namiki nib on it. And I like Japanese nibs, I gotta say. And this here is a two-toned gold 18 karat nib. This is fine. And that is absolutely gorgeous, that nib. It's very reminiscent of, say, some Waterman nibs, or it's a classic, almost like the Schaefer Triumph nib, but it's just a big nib, and it really is really is attractive. My camera doesn't do it justice, really. And I love this, the way it just sort of melds into the section. Very smooth. It's a great big feed on the back of it. The gold two-tone nib sort of wraps around the back, and it's just very handsome. And when you take the cap off, it's a good sized pen, so you could use this easily posted or unposted. Section is a good size. You're not right down by the nib, and when you hold it back, you can see there's a little step right there where the body meets the section. That's where the cap goes on. And it's not sharp. It's comfortable. Feels good. I'm looking at this, and for some reason, even though it appears to be black, I'm seeing a bit of blue in that section. Interesting. It almost is blue-black. Very nice. So it's a cartridge converter filling system. This is very smooth, very nice to feel. It just feels nice in the hands. And let's see how it writes. Yeah, so the cross, the Verve, platinum plated, right? So the quick brown fox, the classic fox. And what I'm noticing is it's a very wet feeling nib. It has a beautiful flow. It is very smooth. You're not getting any line variation, of course, because it's an integrated nib. I wouldn't push down on that very hard. This has the Parker Quink blue black in it, and yeah, it has a really nice flow to it. Very nice pen. Very nice pen. And overall, the length apparently is 5 7/8 inches long, so it's a good size pen, nice size pen. Which always brings me back to the question: why doesn't Cross make another pen with a nib like this? Maybe they do. They don't seem to have a huge selection of pens made these days. But every time I go looking at vintage Crosses, I come across some absolutely beautiful ones. Apparently this, from some of the things I read, didn't sell in huge numbers, so that's probably why it was discontinued. I haven't come across too many Cross pens on eBay or anything like that. I guess if you go looking for them, you can find them. But this is quite an attractive pen. I like it a lot. Very nice. Now the other one is also a Cross Verve, and this is what they call the Radial Chrome. Very interesting. Very shiny. Do I like shiny pens? I tend to like the platinum, the warmth of the platinum, a little bit more. Would have been it would be kind of interesting to see what these radial lines would look like on, say, a platinum finish. And I do think the pen did come in several different finishes and colors, so maybe it does exist. So that's one thing to look at. I might look at someday. Yeah, so very shiny. Feels very nice. Looks quite nice. Once again, it's a pull cap. And this one has a steel nib, and it's a medium. So it is the Cross Verve Radial Chrome. And this is a medium nib. And it's steel. And this thing is a hose. It's It's a real. I really actually quite like this one. I like the other one too, the Namiki, the gold, 18 karat gold Namiki nib. You can't go wrong with that. But for a steel nib, this actually is very surprising. I don't know if it's a Namiki steel nib. I don't know if they made that. I only came across a reference to the 18 karat gold ones. I'm guessing it is. This has diamine green black in it. Very nice color. I like diamine inks. Once again, no line variation really to speak of. And there is just a little, it's smooth, but there is just a little hint of feedback, and it's actually very pleasant. It's not so glass smooth that it's, you know, just glides across the paper. It does glide across the paper, but there's just this nice little feeling I get. I'm just scribbling right now, but it's quite nice. It's not a heavy pen. I wouldn't say it. I don't know the weight, but it's, it's not, well, it's got a nice weight to it. It's not, featherweight, feather light, I should say, but it has a nice weight to it. It's not overly heavy. And, for a steel nib, it's excellent. It's, and that's a medium. I don't know what, say, like a fine would be. It would be kind of interesting to see a fine in comparison to the 18 karat to see how smooth it is. Now, I have a couple crosses in my collection, just a couple. And this here is my cross solo, and it was made in Japan. It has what I'm assuming is a gold-plated nib on it. And, I wish Cross still made the solo, because this thing is absolutely beautiful to write with. Very smooth, very, very fine nib. And all my research leads me to suggest that it was made also by Namiki in Japan. And I keep on coming across, people have told me, some of their nibs were also made by Pelican. I haven't really, come to a conclusion on whether that is true or not. But, I started off thinking I don't understand cross pens when I started in the hobby after, and I kept on thinking of a cross as, say, the pen you would get as a graduation gift from an office supply store. And, some of their models I didn't really care for the look of, but as I've come across a few other cross pens, I'm really starting to like the brand, and I'm just wondering, why don't you step it up? Why don't you bring back some of these classic designs, these beautiful, integrated nibs, and yeah, why don't you do that? Jump on the bandwagon of the fountain pen hobby that's so popular these days. Anyway, yeah. So once again, I'm going to ask the question: what's your favorite cross pen? Let me know in the comment. Have you tried the Verve? Have you tried the Solo? Is there any truth to the story of the nibs being made by Namiki? Is there any truth to the story that the nibs are also manufactured by Pelican? That's the one I'm kind of curious about for sure. Does Cross make its own nibs? Yeah. They have a website online, of course, manufacturer, but they don't really give it a lot of information. And I'm always searching around for stuff like that. But anyway, thank you, Rudolph. These are beautiful pens. Very nice addition to your collection. Very nice pens. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.